Hi everyone, and welcome to Accounting Software Options for Beauty Industry Professionals. Now this is going to be a really short video just talking about the types of software that beauty industry professionals, mainly hairstylists and salon owners, can use for their business. Now, as an accountant, most of my clients are beauty industry professionals. And one of the main questions that I get is, what type of software can I use for my business? Now, most of the clients that I deal with happen to use QuickBooks. So I usually suggest two options. Now, as a hairstylist, you are either a booth renter normally, or a salon suite owner, or even a salon owner. So the type of software or the version of QuickBooks Online that you choose is ultimately going to depend on how your business is structured. It's going to depend on how complicated your transactions are, and it's also going to depend on what you're looking for out of your bookkeeping software, the types of reports that you're looking for. So today we're going to talk about 3 or 4 different options. Now we have QuickBooks Self-Employed, and then there's also QuickBooks Online. Now keep in mind that all of them are an online version, with the exception, and the difference between the two is that QuickBooks Self-Employed is very, very basic, and it's normally used for, I normally suggest it for my booth rental stylists. And then within QuickBooks Online, you have 3 or 4 different options within QuickBooks Online itself. So now let's start out with a brief description of what's available in the QuickBooks Intuit family. So first and foremost, we have QuickBooks Self-Employed. Okay, and it's an accounting software that usually works for booth renters, independent contractors. If you're a mobile stylist, it will work well for you. If you are an in-home stylist, so in other words, if you set up your business at home, QuickBooks Self-Employed can work for you. Yes, if you're a salon suite owner, and also as a booth rental salon owner, if your needs are very, very basic. And then there's QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online normally works best for larger hair salons, or for salons or stylists with more complex type transactions. And then salons with W-2 employees. So if you have W-2 employees and you have payroll, you can actually use QuickBooks Online to manage your payroll. And then also professionals that have multiple streams of income. If you have multiple streams of income, then QuickBooks Online is definitely going to be a better choice for you. So let's talk about the different types of QuickBooks Online versions, because they are different versions, and depending upon what you're trying to achieve, that will determine the version of QuickBooks Online that you choose. But first and foremost, let's start with QuickBooks Self-Employed and who QuickBooks Self-Employed will work best for. Okay, so QuickBooks Self-Employed works best for individuals who are booth renters, as I mentioned. If you are a salon suite owner, or if you are a salon owner but have a very simple needs. And that's because with QuickBooks Self-Employed, you can only have one stream of income coming in with QuickBooks Self-Employed. So if you're a stylist that has multiple streams of income and you want to track all streams, then QuickBooks Self-Employed will not be an option for you. When I say multiple streams of income, what I'm talking about, for example, let's say you are a salon owner and you make money via working with your clients, of course, and also you have booth renters. So that's considered one stream of income. Even if you sell retail products, that's also considered one stream of income. So in other words, owning a hair salon where you have booth renters, where you sell retail products, and also where you service your own clients, all of that is considered one stream of income. But there are some salon owners and some stylists that, in addition to having all of that, they also may teach on the side. They may have online courses that they teach, or they may go around the country teaching different classes. Also, if you have, let's say, an Etsy store or some type of online store where you sell products, then that would be considered a separate stream of income. Now, the reason why it's important to track each stream of income, in other words, income that comes from out of the salon directly, or income in addition to income that you make maybe selling classes or teaching or having an online store, is because you want to understand and you want to know how much money you're making from each stream, just in case one stream is maybe even, you could be losing money with one stream. But if you combine the two and you're not able to tell where your money, or rather where your income is coming from, then you may not be able to make certain decisions. For example, if you have an Etsy store and you happen to be losing money, but your salon is making money, and because you're combining the two within your bookkeeping system, you may not even realize that your Etsy store is losing money, and that the money that you're making with your actual hair salon happens to be covering up for the fact that your Etsy store is losing money. So if you are that type of stylist who has multiple streams of income, then you would need to pick the type of QuickBooks Online software that's going to work for you, where you are able to track multiple streams of income. So dealing with QuickBooks Self-Employed, as I mentioned, you can only have one source of income if you decide to go with QuickBooks Self-Employed. Now, QuickBooks Self-Employed is great in a sense that it is a mobile app as well as a desktop app. One great aspect is that you can connect your bank and your credit card accounts to QuickBooks Self-Employed, which means that anytime you have any transaction, whether you receive income or you pay for expenses, everything automatically uploads into QuickBooks Self-Employed, and therefore you are able to track your income and your expenses. Also, one great thing about QuickBooks Self-Employed is that you can use your phone to take pictures of your receipts. So if you're out and about, you're at the beauty supply store, wherever you are, and you purchase a product, you can actually just take a picture of the receipt, and the receipt automatically uploads into QuickBooks Self-Employed into your bookkeeping system, which is great, because one thing that I noticed with my clients is that they don't hold on to a lot of clients may not properly hold on to their receipts. So at the end of the year, then they're scrambling for their receipts, trying to put everything together for tax time. Well, with QuickBooks Self-Employed, you can just take a picture of your receipt and then throw it away. And then also, if you are a mobile stylist, or if you're a stylist that does a lot of traveling, QuickBooks Self-Employed also has a mileage tracker. So you can track your miles. And when you track your miles, the expense for your mileage is also recorded within QuickBooks Self-Employed. And then also, if you have clients that you invoice, you can automatically invoice them using QuickBooks Self-Employed. And also, you can require that when they receive the invoice, that they pay you immediately by clicking on a Pay Here button. And another thing that's really important is estimated tax calculations. Now, I have clients that come to me every quarter to help them calculate their estimated taxes. Well, one great thing about QuickBooks Self-Employed is that it automatically calculates your estimated taxes for you. Now, in order for it to do that, you have to make sure that the software is set up properly, so that way it can calculate your estimated taxes. Well, one thing you should keep in mind, though, is that it only calculates your estimated taxes for federal and not for state. But that's a great feature. So if you are one that either pays an accountant to calculate your estimated taxes, well, now if you use QuickBooks Self-Employed, it automatically does that for you. So you no longer have to pay the accountant to help you calculate your estimated taxes, unless, of course, you want to keep doing so. In addition, one other thing is QuickBooks Self-Employed has quite a few reports that you can generate for you to determine the health of your business. But most importantly, it has a report that you can generate to send to your tax preparer to help with your tax preparation. One great thing about QuickBooks Self-Employed is that it helps you get ready for tax time. So if you find that you're one of those people that struggles at tax time and you don't know where to begin, you don't know where to begin looking for documents, you don't even know how to start doing whatever it is you need to do to prepare for tax season, if you set yourself up with QuickBooks Self-Employed, it does it for you all through the year. So at the end of the year, all you have to do is print a particular report, give it to your accountant, and they'll take that information to help you prepare your taxes. Now, all of that being said, I have to say that if you do decide to go with QuickBooks Self-Employed, I strongly advise that you have an accountant set it up for you, because in order for you to enjoy all of the benefits of QuickBooks Self-Employed, it has to be properly set up. If it's not properly set up, then you're not going to be able to properly estimate your taxes. You're not going to be able to get the types of reports that you need for tax season. And there are several other things several other features that QuickBooks Self-Employed has that you're not going to benefit from because the system was not properly set up. So it's not as simple as just buying it and turning it on. It has to be set up properly in order for you to be able to enjoy all of the benefits of QuickBooks Self-Employed. Okay, so that's that with Self-Employed. Now, the next option is using QuickBooks Online. Now, as I mentioned, QuickBooks Self-Employed is also an online tool, and so is QuickBooks Online. They're all online versions. The only difference is with QuickBooks Self-Employed, it is geared more towards individuals who are trying to make sure that they are ready at tax time. So if all you're trying to do is to prepare yourself for tax time, okay, and you have very simple accounting and bookkeeping needs, then QuickBooks Self-Employed is for you. Now let's move over to QuickBooks Online. QuickBooks Online has 4 different versions. It has a simple start, it has the essentials, it has plus, and it has advanced. Advanced is fairly new. Advanced came out, I believe, earlier this year. Now I would say that advanced is not something that salon owners or booth renters or salon suite owners necessarily need. It's a little bit too advanced. Now, there may be some situations where the advanced version may work for salon owners, larger salon owners, or rather I should say larger salons. But in this instance, I'm not going to talk too much about advanced because I just don't see it as being necessary at this point for, at least with the clients that I deal with, they don't really need to use the advanced version. So let's start out with a simple start. The simple start, I normally say, is a little bit above QuickBooks Self-Employed. So if you feel as if you have outgrown QuickBooks Self-Employed, but you don't need something that's too sophisticated, then Simple Start would be the next option. Now with Simple Start, you're just basically tracking your income and expenses and capturing once again, you can also use your phone to take a picture of your receipts, and you also have the advantage of invoicing and accepting payments. One new aspect that QuickBooks just recently added to all of their options, which is Simple Start, Essentials, and Plus, is you can now track your miles using the regular QuickBooks Online. Now, prior to, I would say maybe 3 months ago, you could only use QuickBooks Self-Employed if you wanted to track your miles. But now you can use any of the versions of QuickBooks Online to track your mileage. So without going into too much detail about QuickBooks Online, I'll just tell you this. If you have multiple streams of income, as I mentioned earlier, then you would want to go with the QuickBooks Online Plus version. If you want to use QuickBooks Online to track your inventory, so if you sell inventory, if you sell retail, and you want to use QuickBooks Online to track your retail, then you would also need to go with the Plus version. if you have more than one location, so if you are a person that has maybe 2 or 3 or 4 salons and you want to track your income for each individual salon, then you would also want to go with the plus version. The plus version is the only version that will allow you to track multiple sources of income, the only version that will allow you to track income and expenses if you have more than one location. Also, if you want to track your salon inventory, you can only use QuickBooks Online Plus. Of course, Advanced also allows you to do all of those things as well. But there are other things but because of the price points, I always suggest going with Plus, because QuickBooks Advanced, as of today, I believe is $150 a month. Whereas Plus is, I want to say, maybe, I don't know if it's $55 or $60 a month. I'm not quite sure, but it's a lot less than the advanced version. So if you don't sell retail, or you don't want to track retail within QuickBooks Online Plus, or if you don't need to track multiple sources of income, or if you have one single location, or if you're just a booth renter or a salon suite owner, you can actually get away with using QuickBooks Essentials or QuickBooks Simple Start. Also, even if you do sell retail, okay, selling retail does not necessarily mean that you have to use QuickBooks Online Plus. It just depends on how you choose to track it. Now, I have several clients that use Vagaro and they use Square also. So if you use Vagaro as a business management system and you use Square, then you can actually track all of that information inside of Vagaro and inside of Square. You can track your inventory, you can track your cost of goods sold, you can do all that tracking inside of your business management system like Square or Vagaro, and then all you really need at that point is to take those numbers from your business management system and transfer them to QuickBooks Online. So there's really no point tracking inventory in 2 different systems. I say pick one system and be done with it, because it makes it too complicated if you try to track your inventory inside of, say, Vagaro or Square and track it inside a business inside of QuickBooks Online. That's just double work. It's not really worth the hassle. So I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully I've given you a brief summary into the types of software QuickBooks has that can be used by salon owners, booth renters, and salon suite owners. So just to summarize, if you are a very simple business where you just want to make sure you're ready for tax time, and there is nothing complicated about what you do or about your business, about the types of income that you have coming in or the types of transactions or expenses that you have going out. If it's just very simple, straightforward, no complication, you can get away with QuickBooks Self-Employed. QuickBooks Self-Employed, I believe, is $10 a month or something like that. If you are a larger salon, or if you are a salon owner, or if you are a booth renter or salon suite owner that has a whole lot going on, and that you want to sort of break your business down into bits and pieces so you can see what all the moving parts are. For example, you have more than one source of income, as I mentioned earlier, then you would go with one of the options within QuickBooks Online. If you want to create certain types of reports, then you want to go with QuickBooks Online. So my suggestion is for you to, first of all, sit down and figure out exactly what it is you're trying to achieve. What is it that you want to achieve from your bookkeeping system? What type of reports are you trying to look at? What types of activities are you trying to follow? What do you want to know? What information do you need? When you have determined all of that, when you've determined exactly what it is that you are trying to achieve, then it's a lot easier for you to determine which software system you need. If the only thing you want is to make sure that you are ready at tax time, and that you are prepared at tax time, and that you want to have all of your information together at tax time, if that is all you're trying to achieve, then QuickBooks Self-Employed would be the choice for you. If there are things that you want to achieve in addition to that, because at the end of the day, what you are looking to do is to make sure you are ready at tax time, okay? That is a given. But if you are trying to make sure that you are ready at tax time, but in addition to that, there are other things that interest you, whether there's certain types of reports or certain types of transactions that you are trying to fulfill, then you may want to look at QuickBooks Online as an option. And then within QuickBooks Online, you want to pick the one that works best for you. Is it going to be Simple Start? Will it be Essentials? Is it Plus? And even Advanced, depending upon how large your salon is, okay? Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, don't hesitate. You can reach me online at Accountants for Hairstylists, and that's Accountants, the number 4, Hairstylist. Or you can just Google me online, just Google at Desiree Anderson, at Anderson Accounting, and feel free to ask me any questions that you may have. Also, I'm going to leave inside of the description box, I'm going to leave a link where you can actually purchase any of these softwares, and you will get 50% off for, I believe it's 6 months. It was 50% off for 12 months, but I think they've reduced it to 6 months. I'm not sure. But either way, you just click on the link and you can purchase the software that way. That way, you can sort of test it out for the first 6 months for half off and see if it's something that you would like to continue using. And if it's not, then, you can try something different. Thanks a lot, guys, and have a great day.